to welcome our colleagues from railway and industry as well as team IRSDC, which is working with me in transforming the railway stations across the country. And when we are talking railway stations, why exactly railway stations? Because railway station is something that can generate a city. It is what we believe in, and that is the vision with which we are working, and that is what I am going to present to you today as to how these railway stations will transform the cityscape and they will be icons of the city. About IRSDC, Mr. Jatin was introducing. It is essentially this company was set up by Rail Land Development Authority, and presently it is a 50-50 JV of Rail Land Development Authority and IRCON. It was set up on 12th April 2012. I also forgot to say Happy Ganesh Chaturthi to all of you. So it's a very auspicious day today when I am sharing what we are doing across India. And I'm also happy to share with you that RITES would be joining as the third partner next week. So you must have been reading the news in the newspapers, but the date was not confirmed. So next week they are joining as the third partner. So with that, RLDA will become 50%, IRCON will become 26%, and RITES will become 24%.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Screen किसी और की share हो रही है, sir. Visible. Pradeep Menon's screen is being shared, sir. It is okay now, sir. Now it is okay, sir.
Now is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now.
Yes, yes.
Okay. तो आप बाकी का लॉक कर दीजिए मेरे ख्याल में, ताकि किसी और की गलती से ना शेयर हो जाए. So, okay. The Union Cabinet has approved IRSDC as the nodal agency for station development in the country and also the main project development agency. It has been given very wide powers, I would say, and that the powers to approve its own plans under Section 11 of the Railway Act. The Section 11 of the Railway Act is that way very, very powerful, and the Cabinet has also approved that no change of land use is required pan-India. The Ministry of Railways has also given the powers of zonal railway administration to IRSDC as far as station plans and land plans are concerned. The vision of IRSDC is to be the leading organization in the country for development and redevelopment of the station. And the brief given to us, when I share this, people sometimes have a laugh, but that exactly is the fact. We have to make money out of air and convert stations at par with airports. So many of you might be having questions on this, which I'll be presenting in my presentation, or we may be able to take questions even at the end. Even if the questions are more, Mr. Jatin, I can take the rapid fire round, so you can just note down the questions. So we will do a rapid fire round at the end so that we can take everybody's question.
Will do, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. We have many firsts as far as IRSDC is concerned. Our mission is when people consider something as impossible, we get going. The station redevelopment was being talked of for last about 20 years or so, and people thought that it will not be possible to have a PPP or even the station development. So we were the first to appoint a PPP concession in Habibganj, Bhopal in 2016, and in joint partnership with Government of Gujarat at Gandhinagar in 2017. And we are also happy to share with you that the foundation stone of this project was laid by none other than Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, on 9th January 2017. We also took up first station in 2019 on integrated facility management. So I'll detail a short while later exactly what we are doing. And so far, none of the railway projects had been approved by the Public-Private Partnership Appraisal Committee, which is headed by Secretary Economic Affairs. We got 4 stations approved from them and also floated the RFQ with their approval. So that also I'll be detailing slightly later. When we did a lot of road shows across India and globally also, one of the main concerns of all the developers, investors was in terms of approvals. And I'm happy to share with you, as per the vision of Honorable Prime Minister and the leadership and guidance of Honorable Railway Minister Shri Piyush Goyal and the support of Ministry of Railways, IRSDC has now been made the planning and approving agency for all the railway station development projects in consultation with local bodies, so that what we create, it is harmonious with the surrounding development, generally following the national transit oriented development policy. This policy I initiated when I was joint secretary in Ministry of Urban Development, and as I mentioned earlier, no change of land use is required pan India. In fact, we have started now functioning as a deemed special planning authority across India. In Delhi, we approved the layout and building plan for Delhi Safdarjung in consultation with NDMC and with the consent of DUAC and Delhi Fire Services. We have approved the layout plan and building plan for Habibganj in Bhopal, Ajni in Nagpur, and the layout plan for Chandigarh. And the latest one is that the Ministry of Environment Forest has also clarified that the station development projects along with commercial development are now exempt from prior environment clearance subject to certain terms and conditions. The terms and conditions essentially are that we have to prepare an environment management plan, because the development, whatever we do in the country, and Nagpur and the layout plan for Chandigarh. And the latest one is that the Ministry of Environment Forest has also clarified that the station development projects along with commercial development. I am getting the recording again played back, so I think something. Anyway, so current activities, the projects under execution, Habibganj and Gandhinagar, I'll detail out. We have awarded 3 stations on EPC, Anand Vihar, Bijwasan, which is a greenfield terminal, and Chandigarh. And the money for this is to be found out from the commercial development, for which also the tenders have been issued, Anand Vihar, Bijwasan and Chandigarh. I will detail out. As I mentioned earlier, the 4 RFQs which have been invited and finalized, Amritsar, Nagpur, Gwalior and Sabarmati in Ahmedabad with the approval of PPPAC, and now we are going to invite the RFPs from the shortlisted bidders. 5 stations we are managing as integrated facility manager, and 90 more have been approved by the group of secretaries. So they are also planned to be taken over soon by IRSDC. And we are developing number of stations by engaging other CPSEs also as PMC to IRSDC. So around 45 stations we are working on them. These are the 45 stations. You need not note down or something. The presentation will be available to you. When we talk of world-class station, many people sometimes feel as to what it will be. And people say that the station is already world-class. In fact, a lot of work has been done by railways, good work has been done. You must have seen a lot of facelift has been done to various railway stations. The facade has been improved, the lighting has been done. But that is not the vision of Honorable Prime Minister as a redeveloped station. As you see globally, the redeveloped station has to have some basic features. One of them is segregation of arrival departure, which becomes a bit complicated as compared to airports, where the arrival departure can be absolutely segregated. Here, since on the same train people will be from the same gate, they will be arriving and departing at the same time, boarding, deboarding. So that becomes a bit difficult, but still we have done it in the design. On the left hand side you see this is Nagpur station where we are trying to do this redevelopment with this kind of plan. At present, the waiting is all on the platforms. So this concept is also to change so that we can provide them a comfortable waiting space. We are creating concourse above the tracks, and there, just like the airports, you can sit there comfortably. The temperature there would be at least 10 degrees lesser than the ambient temperature, so that you are very comfortable there, and you go to the platform only when your train is about to come. Normally the railway station divides the city into 2 parts. So when we are redeveloping stations, so we are giving a lot of emphasis on connectivity, so connecting both sides of the city and the station. The stations presently are not all Divyang friendly, but all redeveloped stations will be 100% Divyang friendly. And as I said, that these stations will be net zero energy buildings, and they will be green stations. So we are targeting, we are going to sign very soon MOU with IGBC, wherein we will be targeting platinum rating for all of our stations which will be redeveloping. These are the ongoing projects. On the left hand side is Habibganj. This is what was the dream, and on the right is Gandhinagar. So how we are turning dreams into reality, I'll just show you. So this is the Habibganj, the present status. This is the existing station. On right hand side, you see the west side building, a huge building which is coming up. This will become an iconic building. This will be one of the biggest kind of dome the city will be having. This is how on the left hand side the finished structure will look like, and you can see all these cover on platforms have been completed, so they are exactly what the dream has been. This is another view of Habibganj. So this is the west side building, this is the east side building, this is the concourse which is being created above the tracks. It will be 36-meter wide. Here normally you see FOB, which is about 5 to 6 meters wide, so you just can imagine 6 times of that. So there people will be sitting very comfortably, will be getting entertained also, and will be able to see the trains coming and going. This is the concourse which is under construction. The things look very easy, but getting them designed, erected, and when the entire train system is moving without affecting the train operation, this was a huge task. And thanks to our team in IRSDC, our team in I would say railways division and headquarter, and also the developer Bansal Pathways, who did an excellent job. And now the work is going on smoothly. And the kind of design scheme which has been prepared, so there is absolutely now no disturbance to the trains down below, and people are able to work above the tracks. This work is going to be completed by December 2020. There was a bit of delay because of COVID, but now we have you can see all those platforms, the cover etc. has been completed for the entire length, and this is in advanced stage. As I am speaking today, there were 40 girders to be launched and put in place for the concourse. All of them has been put in place. And this building which you are seeing, this is the commercial tower CW1, it is CW2 it is said. This is how the subways are there. I'll just like to share one small story about Habibganj. When we were about to award this, we were told by many senior people with railway experience that it is impossible to construct the subway in Habibganj, and people even laid a bet कि जब जमीन से आप ऊपर आ जाएं तो बताना, तो तब पार्टी करेंगे. So as you have seen, हमने जमीन के नीचे भी है ना बना दिया है, और हम जमीन के ऊपर भी आ गए हैं. These subways have been commissioned, people are using it. In fact, this is how the station was earlier. This is how the station looks now. This is how it used to be, the cover on platforms. Earlier they were, in fact, for the platform there is very wide, so there was no RDSO designed to cover the entire platform. So there were 2 columns that you can see. There were a lot of space frame, very efficient design, but again it led to a lot of clutter here, and the birds can sit and create a lot of nuisance. So we have been able to make a design wherein we have been able to cover the entire platform with single column, giving a lot of space and volume to the passengers, and it gives a very grand look, as you can see. And the design has been such that the bottom side is absolutely clutter free and gives a very neat and clean look. So getting this design was not an easy job. Again, our team, design team in IRSDC, and also the architects to the project, I think there were about 22 total of permutation combinations which were tried to evolve this design. This is how Habibganj existing station used to look like, and this is how it is. And in fact, on finishing, it will be still further transformed. This you can see again the west side station building, and this is how the new building is going to come. Even it's not only the station. When we are doing work, many times some of the railway existing establishment are also to be demolished and rehabilitated. So our vision was that even the staff quarters, where our lowest rung of staff lives, they should get houses which are builder apartments, where the officers should feel proud to be living there in case if they have to. Type 2 and type 3 quarters, which is for our group C and group D. Again, here we went through number of permutation combination, unless and until each and every aspect of movement, placement, everything was finalized. We did not start the construction, and I would be very proud to share with you that our efforts have brought fruitful results. and now these designs are being copied in the country. So these are the houses. This is the lowest category of, I would say, the staff in railways who will be getting these houses. Normally in type 2 quarter there was no western style toilet. आप लोगों ने पीकू मूवी देखी होगी जिसमें चेयर के ऊपर होल करके people are because every one of us might be in that situation sometimes. तो हमने even in type 2 houses we have provided now 2 toilets instead of 1, and we have provided a western as well as Indian toilet both. So all the comforts of the staff have been seen. This is the new construction in accounts office which has been constructed, handed over. And now I bring you to another very, very important project, which is the vision of Honorable Prime Minister. As you can see, this is the central vista in the right hand side. There is a Mahatma Mandir, which is one of the largest convention center in the country, and there is Vidhan Sauda on this side, which is not seen. And just on the central axis, we are constructing this 5-star hotel on top of tracks, which is the first in the country, 318 rooms. And this roof that you see on the platform, covering all the platforms, this is 99 meters without any column. This is also first in the country. This is how the redeveloped station will look like. So just on the top of the redeveloped station, on top of tracks, we are constructing this grand hotel. Messrs. Leela have been appointed through an open bidding for managing this hotel as well as the Mahatma Mandir Convention Center, which is here. So this is also targeted for completion by December 2020. This is how exactly it is in the present shape. This is the ramps. The ground floor of the hotel is 23 meters above the track. This will be the tallest building of Ahmedabad and Gandhinagar. This exactly another view. This is the Dandi Kutir. It's a museum for Mahatma Gandhi, our father of nation, and it's a technologically very, very advanced, I would say, structure, and also the museum inside. And those of you who have not seen it should visit this Dandi Kutir also. It's created on the design of a salt mound. When we are developing railway stations, it is not only the railway station, it is also the commercial development which will happen on the adjoining land. And what we are calling it, this term has been coined with Mr. D.S. Mishra, Secretary Housing and Urban Affairs, Railopolis. Just like the way we have Aeropolis, we have Megapolis. So we'll have Railopolis, so that the railway station and the commercial development is designed in an integration fashion, and is planned in an integrated fashion, provided accordingly, so that you can live, work and play and ride there. When we started the entire station development exercise in PPPs, and when a private sector is involved, people always talk of various C's, which is CBC, CBI, CAG, codes, etc., etc. So we said those are the areas of worry, but what should be our areas of focus? So we devised 7 C's, that the 7 areas of focus. That first is that this whole station which will be designed, it will be like a city center, so that transportation here is one of the functions. It is convergence of all the modes. So we will have a seamless connectivity of various transport nodes, be it bus or city bus or regional bus, be it cabs or the metro or the pedestrians or cyclists, taxis, private vehicles. So all the modes must be seamlessly integrated here. The entire design has to be in a manner so that it is congestion free and convenience to passengers, as I said, Divyang friendly, and other amenities, facilities for the passengers. As I mentioned, conservation of environment is another C that is the focus. Cleanliness by design. So it's not only by practice but also by design, so that we can maintain cleanliness and communication to and fro from the and to the passengers. So how exactly this will translate externally? So presently you have quite a bit of zigzag kind of parking, etc. You have this waiting areas and FOBs. So all this will change, as you see on the right, to the modern, the way you look at these redeveloped airports. So again, how internally it will happen in terms of the waiting areas instead of being on the platform. So you have the concourse where you'll be waiting, and the station building will become like a city center rail mall and not just only for the transportation. So as I said that it is together combined, so we have to plan for the station, and when we are planning for the station and also real estate, it is also a challenge that we have to plan for future. We have to plan for 45 years minimum hence as to what will be the railways requirements. So we have to take into account all the railway requirements, and we have to at the same time plan for the real estate. And as I said, transit oriented development, when we say transit oriented development, it's mixed use, it is walk to work. So that kind of concept where the commercial and the station is completely integrated as part of this mixed use. So this comprehensive plan is to be prepared and allow for the seamless integration with the city and also seamless movement of the passengers. To make this happen, what was required was to have our own building design course. So railway has already made a manual of standard and specification for railway station, which becomes a guide for designing our railway station. And then we have prepared a land value capture guideline for capturing the entire land value, and at the same time creating connectivities. So how to translate the TOD, the national TOD policy, which has been brought out by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, into the entire area planning. So we have prepared that, and we have also prepared architectural building design codes for putting in all these things together. So that would be, I would say, a template for designing the station and also capturing the land value and planning for the land. If I just share with you how complicated is the entire process, because it is many times people feel that why with a magic wand all the stations have not been transformed. It is a huge exercise. For each station we have to coordinate with at least 25 agencies. So firstly we have to look at all the present utilities requirements. So we have to see those design. Then we have to work on the mandatory component of the station circulating area, the operations, because ultimately the operations of railway cannot be compromised when we are doing the railway design. Many of you might not be knowing railway is also called the permanent way, and when we call it permanent way, there is nothing permanent about it except that the alignment is permanent, because unlike buses where you can take your roads anywhere, you can take your bus terminals anywhere, railways, and that is why railways have the first right of way. So railways, once they are laid somewhere, so that alignment is fixed forever. So taking into account these things, then these station design guidelines are there. Then we have these development control norms as far as the real estate development has to happen. So all these factors which are listed, they have to be taken into account. The architectural design code has to be taken into account, and how exactly the builder will be allowed to develop. So we have to have those buildable volume cards giving all those details, and with that this is essentially the urban design framework comes the vision of Railpolis. And when we are doing this, then we have to do consultation with the urban local bodies and other statutory authorities, and then the concession document is prepared, and then entire monitoring exercise of construction KPIs and augmentation etc. is facilitated. So when we are doing all this, we have to have certain salient features in mind. So as I mentioned that the land use, there is no change of land use which is required, that facilitation has been done. The FSI is now as per the national TOD principles and applicable on entire railway land, and plan approval is being done by IRSDC for the work which is being done by Rail Land Development Authority. So Rail Land Development Authority is approving those plans, and EIA, as I mentioned, no prior EIA is required. If you see on the right hand side, this is how the entire development can happen, and this is what you will see around the station, where you have commercial below and you have residential, but the access for the two can be different. The form-based course I will detail out slightly later. So this is something which we have developed, which is going to be a win-win-win situation for everybody. So it will promote walkability. So we'll have something like these covered colonnades as you see in Connaught Place. So shaded areas which are I would say weatherproof, and you can do your shopping or walking very comfortably. We have reduced the parking norms also as in line with the national TOD policy. So entire local norms they are applied at the entire railway plot level, the larger plot level, and for the subplots which we are giving to the developer, we give a lot of flexibility to the developer, and we only define the buildable envelopes, so that he has the freedom to choose the mix exactly. And the ground coverage also we are giving some flexibility when we are giving the subplot, so he can do the construction. So I'm just showing exactly what are the facilitation. This is Chandigarh station on redevelopment, and these are the 3 plots for redevelopment. So he will have freedom, he can choose any shape and size, but there are certain things which are fixed. For example, build to edge is something that is what is mandated, so that we have the safety and also the vibrancy on the roads. So normally the city norms are providing for a lot of setbacks. As a result, the plot is surrounded by a boundary wall and you do not have eyes on the roads. So what we will be developing, because the railway station is something which is 24/7, so accordingly it should also facilitate 24/7 development around the railway station. So we will be having active frontage at the footpath. This is how the active frontage would be. If you take the city norms, so about 36% of the land is lost to all these kind of setbacks which are there, and as a result you get green area which is only just about 6%, and the footprint area is also reduced. So when you do the form-based codes, so we are able to essentially maximize on the area under greens. So you see the 3 times increase in the green area. So same kind of development, same roads, everything same. The footprint area also increases, so it is more built up area, it's more green area, so more public area. So it is win-win for the developer, for the user, for the pedestrians, and for also the city. As I mentioned, these mandatory arcades, so this is the kind of thing which is defined in the buildable volumes. So on these edges, he has to have the mandatory arcades, so that you can get something on the right hand side as a part of the entire development. The parking norms, as I said, the TOD policy which is being brought out by Delhi DDA is instead of these ECS, this is minimum. So a developer can definitely provide more than that, but this is the minimum. Again, the concept is walk to work, so that the lot of investment which goes, or the cost which goes into creating parking gets reduced, and people are incentivized to use public transport, intermediate public transport, not motorized transport to commute, rather than only the private transport. Of course, because of COVID, presently there is some challenge in using public transport, but I am sure that this is not going to remain forever. As I mentioned, there are few live projects in terms of the commercial development for Anand Vihar, Bijwasan and Chandigarh. So here we are providing lease period up to 99 years. This is what the Union Cabinet has sanctioned. So if it is only commercial development, then it is 60 years, and if it is residential, then it is 99 years, and if it is mixed, so also then we are giving 99 years. So the built up area can be mortgaged, the land cannot be mortgaged, mixed use development is allowed, and form based codes are being followed, as I mentioned earlier. So generally for these commercial developments, there is no mandatory cost except in Chandigarh where some road is to be constructed. So you have to do this mandatory project in Chandigarh in 2 years. The flexibility is there to the developer, except in Chandigarh where we have given the upper limit also of the residential development. So this is just a snapshot of the kind of commercial development which will happen on Anand Vihar. Anand Vihar is going to be one of the best multimodal integrated, I would say, station perhaps in the country, because it is being served by 2 metro line connectivity, 1 interstate bus terminus. The RRTS work has also started. It is having a line terminus, suburban rail connectivity, and city bus connectivity. So all modes are getting connected here. So it will be an excellent piece of development, and it is also getting connected to the Kakkarduma transit oriented development which is being taken up by DDA. So this is exactly the plots which are being offered for commercial development, roughly about 24 lakh square feet at Bijwasan, which is essentially close to airport. So it is Dwarka in your terminology, those who are familiar with Delhi. So this is the Dwarka station of airport line and also the metro lines. This terminus will come here. It's a greenfield terminus. This just appreciation of the site. So these are various other connectivities which are here. An international exhibition center is also coming here. ISBT is also coming here. So this will also be I would say a great development, very close to airport and also very close to the airport, this AeroCity. Roughly it will be just about 10 minutes from each other. So this is how the redeveloped or the new railway station will come up there. Presently these two plots are being offered, roughly about 36 lakh square feet is being offered. So again here there are certain things which are given as mandatory. So again, to facilitate passenger movement or the pedestrian movement, so there's some mandatory passage which is given. So there is a flexibility to move it left or right, but some kind of cut through is required like this. It will also enhance the commercial aspects of whatever shops etc. which are being going to be created, as I mentioned earlier, because people buy when they are walking, people do not buy when they are sitting in cars. So it is important to create more and more of comfortable pedestrian spaces in case if you want to increase your sales. Chandigarh, this is the final phase of Chandigarh, but in the first phase we are only constructing this much, considering the consumption which can happen of the real estate in Chandigarh. So remaining part will be constructed in the second phase as and when the metro also comes. So presently only these plots are being offered for commercial development, roughly about 12 lakh square feet or 13 lakh square feet of commercial development and residential development. So residential development, I think it's 7.5 lakh square feet maximum. Up to that you can do the construction. So this is in terms of the projects which are in the offing. Now I'm bringing you out the projects which are already bid out and for which the RFQ has been finalized, Amritsar. So when I'm saying station cost 300 crores, so normally the financing cost etc. is here, not included here, so that is additional. This is how Gwalior will look like on development. So you can see we have taken care of the heritage aspects. Many times it is seen that when we are doing development, so we'll just create some glass building. No, it is considering the local context, local architecture. Think global, act local. That exactly is the philosophy on which we are working. So Gwalior station, again RFQs have been finalized. We very soon will float the RFPs to the shortlisted bidder. This is how the Nagpur station will come. Again here you see this is the heritage building. So very recently, I think about 2 weeks back, we had the clearance from the heritage committee for the entire plan. So this is how the redeveloped station will come. It was a great exercise to locate the new station building, meet the access and reduce the travel distances, meeting all the needs of the, as I had said earlier, all the needs of a redeveloped station. Designing this was a challenge, but our architects, Messrs. Inia, they have done a wonderful job. So this station again is going to be bid out. The RFP is going to be issued. Sabarmati is again going to be very important in Ahmedabad. Here the high-speed rail terminus is also coming. It is connected by 2 railway stations, Sabarmati meter gauge and broad gauge. Is both broad gauge now, but earlier there used to be 2 stations, 2 metro station, BRT, etc. And very recently as yesterday night, or I would say today morning, our team was working day and night. So at 12:40 a.m. Or 0:40 a.m. The RFQ for this project has been uploaded. The NIT was issued day before yesterday. So we got the approval from PPPAC, Public Private Partnership Appraisal Committee. So the bidding cost in the document will be 1642, which is 25% more than this actual station cost. That is to account for all the financing cost contingencies, etc. This will be a very important project because this station is UNESCO's World Heritage Site. This is the only station in the country which is on the UNESCO's World Heritage Site. And what we'll be doing on redevelopment, so this is the heritage area, so we'll be restoring it to its 1930 glory, and this is the new terminal which will be created for the long distance. This is for the suburban passengers, and this will be a connectivity from long distance to the suburban. And this will be a new line which will be coming here. There was a need for 2 more new lines, so they are being brought on this side, the port line, and this is also suburban, this is also suburban, so it will provide a very seamless connectivity. So this will be a huge, I would say, an iconic project. It will change the face of Mumbai on that side. One of the important things which Public-Private Partnership Appraisal Committee has done is, earlier the station development was to be funded entirely from real estate. Now user charges have also been approved. So there will be certain user charges which will be notified by Ministry of Railways in due course of time. So before the RFP is issued, and these user charges will also be a considerable funding source for the developers or the concessionaires, and that is why we are finding huge response. In fact, for the 4 stations which I mentioned, despite COVID, we had fantastic response. There were total of 32 bids which were received, and after evaluation we found 29 bids to have qualified. So for each station we are having minimum 6 parties who have qualified for the RFP stage, and for Sabarmati we have 9 parties. The other stations which we are going to submit the proposal to PPPAC very soon is Surat Multimodal Hub. This also will be first time in the history of the country that central government, state government and urban local body, they have all combined to pool their lands and form a JV called SETCO, which will be taking up the development of this project. And IRSDC of course is doing this. IRSDC has formed SETCO. It's a subsidiary of IRSDC. So the irony is the same electorate elects all the 3 levels of government, but they are having many times silos. So ultimately it is the common man which suffers. So it was the vision of Honorable Prime Minister that we should have a truly seamless multimodal hub, and that is how with this vision this has been created. And I am proud to say that this is first time in the history that this has happened. Otherwise it was very, very difficult to get this whole thing going. And since Surat, just like you have Delhi and Anand Vihar, so in Surat we have a very close station called Udna, where a lot of trains from Surat will also get shifted. So Udna is also being taken up with Surat. So this is going to be bid out soon. Very soon we'll submit the proposals to Ministry of Railways for taking up these 2 projects. This is Thakurli. Those of you who are from Mumbai, so Thakurli is just short of Kalyan. So this station will also be developed, so it will become a major station for that side of the city. This is Baipanhalli, those of you who are familiar with Bangalore. So Baipanhalli is again a very important growth center for the city. So this station, and there is a new Greenfield station also coming at just 1 kilometer. So both of them, they will be connected. So this is also going to be taken up. Now we have another, I would say, vertical, which is our integrated facility management, which I had mentioned earlier. So this vertical is something which was started in December 2017. We started work. February, the Ministry of Railways on a pilot basis gave us 5 stations, which we took over in February to April. Anand Vihar, Bijwasan, Chandigarh, Bangalore and Secunderabad. So these are the dates. And from the date of taking over, we have tried to transform these stations because here the revenue source was limited in terms of whatever revenue stream of kiosks, stalls, parking, advertisement and platform ticket was passed on to us. When we took over all these stations, they were on, I would say, loss making. So we had a 20 crore loss when we took over all these stations. At that time, private sector was not ready to come in to take them on PPP. So we took that risk of taking over from railways, being a cushion in between us and the private sector. And after more than 1 year of IRSDC operating through the facility managers, namely BVG, UDS, who are doing 3 stations, and Knight Frank at Bangalore. So there is a huge confidence not only in railways that we can do a professional management of these stations, but also in private sector that yes, they can work with railways and it is doable. So that is how we are now planning for 90 stations. So when we are doing this integrated facility management, so again, these are the missions that we enhance the customer experience. So that essentially is the aim. So we have innovative offerings, all the attractive commercials, etc., quality, safety. So that is of paramount importance. We appoint a nodal officer there. We take up through the station facility manager all the MEP services, housekeeping services, various passenger services, and the revenue management. Many of those who have been following Honorable Minister on Twitter, you must have seen some of these photographs which Honorable Minister also tweeted, kind of cleanliness which we could bring at all these stations, Chandigarh, Anand Vihar, Secunderabad, Bangalore, and also Pune. So these are various MEP activities, etc., etc. There are many firsts when we took up this facility management. We installed first water from air water vending machine. So it is atmospheric water generator, Meghdut. Yesterday I was talking to Sapna from the principal scientific advisor to Prime Minister's team, and I came to know that there is something even better which has been designed by IIT Madras. So we are open to all these technologies which can be adopted when we are creating these Relopolis and the redeveloped stations in the country. So anybody who is having any such new technologies, you are most welcome. But as I said, our brief is to make money out of air. So we cannot do charity. We can provide you space. There are various formats which are available. I am sure Rotary Club would be keen to support this through various CSR activities, wherein we can generate some revenue also, but at the same time we can give platform to various new technologies, and we can fulfill the mission of Honorable Prime Minister of Atmanirbhar Bharat, so that our budding technologists and the startups, they can get some space here. This is a new experiment of Fit India Squat machine, so I'll just show you the visuals. So this was a hit. Honorable Minister's tweet was retweeted and downloaded, I think visited about more than 1 million hits were there. Anand Vihar Eat Right station, so we are also focusing that whatever people eat, so they should not only have the quality kind of preparation but also quality kind of food. Digital locker, generic medicine shop, so mobile charging kiosk, so where you can put your mobile while charging in a locker, and it can charge very, I would say, affordable rates. And a retail store which is by a startup. So just a few of these photographs. Meghdut, this is the Fit India Squat machine. So many people, they use this to generate a free platform ticket which we are vending if you do 30 squats in 3 minutes. So here you can see a lady doing it. So it was that anybody could have done it. When we said 30, people thought that 30 would be a huge number, but we found that many people were able to do it. This is Fit India Squat, this is Eat Right station. So the certificate which we got, the highest ranking all over Indian Railways. So this is FSSAI chairman giving this certificate. This is the Digi Locker, first Digi Locker. This is a generic medicine store, Dawa Dost, which we have opened up at Anand Vihar and Chandigarh, and we are opening up at other station. This is new shop. This is a startup of startups, I would say. This is mobile charging kiosk for Braille tactile map for the visually impaired. So this has been installed. This is health kiosk. You can get many of your health parameters checked at a very affordable cost. So this was also a hit. We started first at Secunderabad on Indian Railways, and then it has been followed elsewhere on Indian Railways. This is the massage chair at Anand Vihar foot massage. This is because of COVID. Now we have appointed this installed automatic sanitizer and mass dispensing machine. So as I mentioned, so this was only pilot station. So 90 more stations are to be taken over, and here it will be given directly on PPP. So it will be a private partner who would be getting all the revenue, and he will be essentially mandated to do some of the things. The focus would be on low cost, high impact items. The concession period will be 15 years. So we'll be targeting those stations which are not being taken up for redevelopment. So 123 stations, IRSDC along with RLDA, we are taking up 123 stations. So in addition to that, 90 more stations will be taken up on this model as the Union Cabinet has approved. the aim essentially is to bring in the private sector efficiency and their efficiency in operations, the capital resources, and enhanced services. The impetus would be to create a new look, feel, and identity to the station. So there will be some refurbishment on the infrastructure on takeover, and many times it might so happen that the stations which we have taken up, even though we have given it for 15 years for concession, they might be that these stations are taken up for redevelopment. So in case so, then it will be novated to the developer. We have proposed very nominal user charges on all category of passengers to ensure viability and also generate, as I said, most of these stations presently, if you just take the 4 revenue streams which is passed on to us or will be passed on to the concessionaire, so at present it is loss making, so it will improve the viability. We know that many of stations, even without these user charges, might become viable by the private sector efficiency. But still, if there is some user charges, so you get certain additional resources for creating better infrastructure and Divyang friendly features. So access control, we are trying, and this will also incentivize access control, so that presently you have, despite all the kind of, I would say, efforts by railways and RPF, still people find access to the platforms, and it becomes many times unsafe. Also, there are pickpocketings and all those kind of things which can happen. So we will be providing CCTV cameras all around, so that if somebody is doing something, at least he can be caught. So we are working to have the model document prepared, and they will be appraised and approved by Public-Private Partnership Appraisal Committee. So for latest updates, you can follow us on various our social media handles, and our monthly newsletter Sejans, Station Rejuvenation Initiative by Joint Action, which the acronym Honorable Prime Minister also liked. In fact, he mentioned in one of his speech while inaugurating the Competition Commission of India's building. So you can follow us. And with that, I would say thank you. We are trying to do something which has not been done. We are trying to be special and different and create better amenities for all of the users.